Welcome along to Obviously Fight Talks must-watch fights for December 2017. This is where we give our top 5 fights to watch in the month of December coming up. So we're going to shout out a couple of notables that didn't make our 5.
I don't know how these didn't make our 5. This is probably the hardest list, in my opinion, that we've put together. In my opinion.
It's only our third one, so.
I know.
Cyborg versus Holly Holm did not make the list. Santiago Ponzinibbio, Mike Perry did not make the list. Jimmy Rivera versus John Lineker did not make the list.
Your man.
Carlos Condit versus Neil Magny did not make the list.
So what is the list?
Let's make the list. Number 5, we have Robbie Lawler taking on RDA. Rob, why did this make the list?
Well, straight on the surface of it, it's an amazing fight. It could be, like on paper, it could be one of the best fights of the year. 2 very aggressive styles. Robbie Lawler, champion just a few fights ago. Same with RDA, champion a few fights ago. We don't know where both of them are in their careers. It's at welterweight, so that's interesting to see how RDA does against a decently sized welterweight. Man, it's just a great fight. This was higher on the list. It kind of moved down and down and down. The more I thought of it, I just think, Lawler coming to the end of his career. RDA, he's having a bit of a resurgence, but we still don't know where he is. But, man, it could be one of the best fights of the year.
What I like about this is the two of these will happily stand and trade as well. And I think it's going to be speed, power, and it's going to be, to rob that silly saying again, a ballet of violence. And that does go down at UFC on Fox 26 on the 16th of December. Number 4 goes down at UFC 218 on the 2nd of December, so you don't have to wait too long for this one. The big boys are in the octagon. We got Alistair Overeem taking on Francis Ngannou. Number 4. Why is it number 4?
Again, it's a fantastic fight. I think in any other month, it probably could be number 1. The reason why, for me, I'm not sure, we didn't actually discuss why we kind of put these in this order. The reason for me is I think that Ngannou might get the job done, not easily, but I think he might get it handily enough. And again, that could be completely wrong. If you want to go back, watch our preview show for 218. I just think that Ngannou is a specimen at this division. I think he's a really good up-and-comer. And I don't think the fight is going to be as entertaining. I think it could come with a great finish, but I don't think it's going to be as entertaining as some of the other fights that we're going to say higher up.
I think it makes the list because it's a welcome to the new age moment. Ngannou is an absolute destroyer. Overeem was an absolute destroyer. His game has evolved, but I just think that Ngannou's going to have too much, and I think it could be the
birth of a superstar.
Fireworks.
Could be a birth of a superstar.
Exactly. What makes number 3, you ask, Rob?
What makes it?
Khabib taking on Edson Barboza. Why does it make number 3?
Khabib is clearly one of the best guys in that division. A lot of people, rightly or wrongly, could say he's the best guy at that division. We've yet to find that out. If he wins this one, he's probably in line for a title shot if he can stay healthy. Edson Barboza, it's an interesting matchup because we know what Khabib wants to do. We know what Edson Barboza wants to do. And their strengths is probably the other guy's weakness. So stylistically, it's a great matchup. Khabib hasn't fought in a long time, so it's very, very interesting to see how he looks coming back. Edson Barboza has been on a decent run. And just could be another fantastic fight.
Well, I think that happens here as well. There's a lot of people. Michael Johnson landed a good shot on Khabib, and they're all, he's no chin.
Yeah.
So this is the perfect fight in a way for him to set up and go, shut up, and move on from there. Khabib is an absolute superstar, but a lot of people have questioned where a lot of his victories have come from. They think his record is a little padded. Fighting, the earlier days, you don't know really the guys he was fighting, you know what I mean, how outstanding they are.
That's pretty much with everybody, but,
But I think that's why this gets here. It really could. You just said, I think this gives your number 1 contender.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we know the division's held up a little bit.
Well, unless,
it gives the number 1 contender for the next shout. Number 2, you ask people of the must-watch fights of December, are asking, number 2, ooh, title's on the line.
Title's on the line.
And that only makes number 2. Max Holloway taking on Jose Aldo. A couple of questions, Rob. Why number 2 and why not number 1? And why did it make the list?
Not number 1 because I don't know where Jose Aldo is. I don't know if it's going to be as competitive, similar to the Alistair Overeem, Francis Ngannou one. I kind of have that in my mind, and I'm guessing you kind of have it as well, just based on the preview that we done. But I really want to see what Max Holloway looks like. Jose Aldo, I'm not counting him out in the fight. I think he can win it. He's an incredible fighter. We don't know what's going to happen, but I'm really excited to see how good Max Holloway looks, what improvements he makes. Again, it's a huge title fight. It's probably the best featherweight of all time versus a guy who might be able to cement himself as the best featherweight of all time in the coming future. It's a great matchup. I just don't know how competitive it's going to be based on their last contest, which is Jose Aldo's last fight.
I think if this was their first encounter, this would be number one on the list.
Oh, absolutely.
But the fact that we've seen Max Holloway finish and really beat up Jose Aldo in the end, it takes the glimmer away from it.
Yeah.
This is like every time you see Max Holloway, he's getting better. He's 25 years of age. Yeah. He's on an 11-fight win streak. His last defeat was to Conor McGregor. I'm saying things that people know, but this guy is an absolute superstar. He is 25, and Jose Aldo, who's one of the most feared featherweight fighters in the world, he's just like, yep, whoever, same thing, doesn't really matter.
Crazy.
This will show the caliber that Max Holloway is. He's an absolute superstar. It's something we spoke about as well on our breakdown for this show on the full episode of obviously Fight Talk. Jose Aldo looks a broken man. Is he a broken man, or will he look like he did against Frankie Edgar? Will he want to prove something by getting in there against Max Holloway? It's an intriguing fight, but it's only number 2.
Yeah.
Number 1, the most watched for us, the must-watch fight of December that we both agree on this. Might get a few heads going, what? That's a bit of a weird one. Eddie Alvarez taking on Justin Gaethje is the number 1 fight for both myself and Robert on obviously Fight Talk. Why is it number 1 for us, Rob?
For me, it's probably the fight on the list where I can see down the line in the future, and again, it hasn't happened yet, but I can see based on the two styles that it could be one of them fights where you tell your friends, you need to watch this fight. You need to go back and watch this fight. Make an effort to go back and watch this fight.
Shogun Dan Henderson moment.
Exactly. One of them fights where you watch it, you want to rewatch it again. The other fights on the card seem to me, not all of them, but some of them seem to me that it could be one-sided fights where it builds the profile of the guy. Like Max Holloway could go in there and beat Jose Aldo. Again, go other ways, but you could go in and beat Jose Aldo fairly handily, and there's another notch on his belt. Similar to Ngannou, he could go in and knock him out. But this one, I think it could be one of them fights where you're like, you need to go back and watch this fight because it's insane, it's crazy. Two crazy styles and aggressive guys. I just think it could be fight of the year candidate as well as the other ones on the list.
There you go. Number 5, Robbie Lawler taking on RDA. Number 4, Alistair Overeem versus Ngannou. Number 3, Khabib Barboza. Number 2, Holloway Aldo. And number 1, Eddie Alvarez taking on Justin Gaethje. They're their top 5. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Hit us up at @talk_fight on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube here. Leave it in the comments. Say, look, these are mad lads. How you not got Cyborg and Holly Holm in there? It's a great fight. How have you not got Posanivo against Mike Perry? They're going to murder each other. It's going to be incredible. Disagree with us? Comment below. We interact. Rob does. If you haven't checked out the full episode 91, check it out this week. Great episode as always. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again. Must watch fights December.